Today on the show, strategy plus action equals sales and the power of community. Success in business and life is a constant back and forth of charting your course and taking the consistent steps every day to move you forward. Both are critical. My guests on this show range from hardworking entrepreneurs starting from scratch to visionary leaders of cutting-edge companies looking to scale. I help you understand the strategies that are working for them and the actions you can take to model their success. For me, a show like this is all about joining forces with my guests to dig deep and create something new for you. Whether that's a small insight that gets you unstuck or a path of massive growth through customized marketing and creative sales initiatives. Welcome to Strategy in Action. Welcome to episode 32 of Strategy and Action. Today on the show, Barbara Tunstall is on to talk about sales and building a community in her roles that she has, multiple right now. And it's a really unique set of skills, in my opinion, to not only, sell a product, sell a membership, sell a service, but to build community around it and really be able to discuss, educate, and live the ideals of that community and everything around it. And I think Barbara does that amazingly well. And that's why I wanted to have her on the show and talk about all of those things. I know Barbara back from my Dallas startup days, like a few of the folks I've had on the show. And it was great to catch up with her and really have this discussion around these topics. So let's jump in. Welcome to the show, everybody. Barbara Tunstall. Hello. How the heck are you?
I'm doing great. Good to see you, Jason.
So good to see you. Barbara is a dear friend from back in my Dallas startup days, I will say, running around there before heading over here to the lovely Colorado. So Barbara, I wanted to bring you on to the show. Gosh, you could talk about so many things, but I was really excited about the new roles you're in. Newest. You've been there a couple of years now. The organizations that you're helping out and you're working with. I'd love you to kind of dig into what they're all about, the two organizations. And what really excites me is that knowing some of your background on the sales side of things, I know for a fact that you bring a very unique perspective to these roles. So dive in a little bit on what you're doing right now.
So I'm currently with the Richardson Chamber of Commerce. They are a 5-star chamber in Richardson, Texas, which is a suburb of Dallas. 5-star is important because only about 1% of chambers in the United States are 5-star chambers. That all comes back to the way we service our accounts, our members who join to receive benefits, and are they having that value connection that they're looking for within the community. I'm also the executive account manager for their sister organization, Tech Titans, which is the largest technology trade association in the Southwest. And they are both nonprofits, and they are sister organizations. Tech Titans is about 25 years old. And we strive to collaborate and partner with all different sizes of technology companies, from startups to Fortune 500. And so the end goal of Tech Titans is for collaboration for future technology. We also donate money to STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. And we're in, I believe, 7 different school districts where we have demonstrated to more than 20,000 students on the importance of STEM and what those roles could mean for their future. With the Richardson Chamber of Commerce, we're active in education and advocating for businesses and promoting on the Tech Titan side a strong workforce in technology allows the marriage between those two nonprofits and the community of North Texas at large to benefit from the efforts of both.
Wow.
So I'm blessed to be able to represent both nonprofits. And I'm the first person in the organization who has done that. While the Richardson Chamber has my community effort and the strength of the community, the strength of business, which always keeps me engaged. Tech Titans sort of has my passion because you're talking about AI and blockchain and health tech and where we're headed in the future. So I'm a little jealous, Jay, that you're a lot younger than I am, because to see where all of this is going to go in the future as rapidly as tech is changing is just amazing. There's so much to see upcoming, and the benefits that will be for all mankind, I think, is really remarkable.
Yeah, and I think that's such a great point. And one of the areas that you and I share in common is that outlook when it comes to technology and when it comes to the future, because you can look at anything and find the negative. But I think there are just so many examples of technology helping us and actually allowing us to, be here longer, live better, all of those things.
Yes. One of the companies that I recently brought on board to Tech Titans, they are an AI company, and he is accustomed to hearing folks say to him, you're taking my jobs. Well, they can have every part of my job that's repetitive because I don't want to do it anymore. Just let me do the fun stuff. From sending out invoice over and over again, month after month, or taking some of those repetitive tasks that can actually be more efficient, save a company money. It's going to make some folks really appreciate what they do have in their job, and also be able to spend more time doing the things that they really enjoy doing. So there's good and bad, to your point, with everything. But, I mean, people said the same thing about the horse and buggy and the automobile. So,
right.
Let's talk about the jobs that created and the jobs that went away.
Right.
So it's perspective.
Oh, yeah. Radio was horrible and the end of everything. Television was the end of everything. Internet's the end of everything.
Right. The sky is falling.
Oh yeah, at every turn. It's at least I think now what's fun is that the possibilities are so vast now that there's fewer and fewer of those ridiculous voices of, well, this is as far as things go, because it's just too wide open still. I
like learning. I'm a lifelong learner. So I'm always excited to learn what's new and what's coming around the corner and how it can serve us better. How does it make your job better? How does it make my life better? How do we engage with it? And so I get excited about all these different things. And I can't wait for the future of our children and how they'll benefit from it, for sure.
Oh, yeah. So what does it mean when a company joins Tech Titans, for instance? What is the benefit? Why would they join? Well,
initially they'll join because they want to be part of a community that encourages and promotes technology, but they also want to collaborate with other technology companies. So, for example, we have startup companies that want to join because they're looking for more established companies to collaborate with. We have 500 companies who want to stay engaged with startups because they recognize the innovation that they bring to the table. So there are ways that we can put those folks together. If there's a solution, for example, that a Fortune 500 company wants to solve, they will embrace Tech Titans and say, look, this is something we'd like to do. Can you, help us with this project? We'll get, 10 or 15 companies together, put basically the problem in front of them, and let them work on how they would solve this solution, given the requirements, the platform, whatever it is that would need to be specified. And then those smaller companies can pitch to that Fortune 500 company, a lot of times that company will buy that solution. So it's pretty fun.
Heck yeah. That's interesting. 'Cause I knew the events that you have there, in person, getting these people in a room, virtually or otherwise now, but getting these folks in a room, I didn't realize that aspect kind of went on, that these larger companies would reach out to the organization and say, hey, here's what we need. Get us some folks to talk to. That's really strong.
Yes. And we also partner with UTD, and we have innovation labs working with them so that, again, another company can sponsor a lab at UTD. Those students will work on that project, solve that problem. And I think UTD's won like 6 annual awards, 6 years in a row, something like that, coming up with these different solutions for these different companies. And in the end result is the company actually owns the rights to that solution, but it gives the students the ability to learn, and as part of their education process, it's really good for everybody all the way around. And the company funds that transaction. So
and for a student to be able to say, "Oh, I created this product that AT&T is using," or whoever it may be. That's right. Yeah, that's huge. That's awesome. I love this role that the 2 roles that you're in as one, because it's such a great combination of sales, because you're going out, you want more people to join Tech Titans, join the Richardson Chamber, but it also uses your great networking skills and network building skills, which I think you're so wonderful at. And because you have that passion for both learning technology, wow, isn't this stuff cool, but also a passion for getting people in a room together to say, look at this thing that's so cool, and all of those things are really critical. And I think that speaks to why you're the first person to take on both roles, and as well as, maybe, getting to know them and volunteering. I think that unique set of skills from your, vast sales knowledge and experience there, all the way to what you're doing now.
Well, I think it's my first role is an educator. So I think it's imperative that I educate the person I'm in front of as to what it is I feel they should know. Mm-hmm. Now, what they do with that information is entirely up to them. So I feel I'm obligated to let them in on that secret of what's happening in this particular corner, and maybe they're not ready for that yet. Cybersecurity is a good example of that. We hear about that all across the media, but typically we hear about it on a national level, when in reality it can affect, your home. It could affect, so you can look at cybersecurity as part of your insurance package on your home. There are ways to, when you look at this and what can happen, you want to take advantage of where is this technology going to protect me, and do I need to be in on it now, or can I wait a year, or can I wait 2 years? But it's important to understand it. And telemedicine is a good example of that. I saw demonstrations on telemedicine, virtual doctor-patient meetings as far back as 10 years ago. And the healthcare companies were trying to promote it to us, and we weren't listening until COVID hit. And then all of a sudden, no one could leave their homes. And the only way to see your doctor or get your children to the doctor was through that virtual meeting. The interesting part about that is, even though the insurance companies had been promoting it, the compliance wasn't in place, all the pricing wasn't in place, all the things to actually push it to the forefront for the public to actually be able to use it wasn't there yet. So during COVID is when the insurance companies had to take a look at this and say, oh my gosh, they're ready and now we better step up. So, I mean, the doctors didn't even know what to charge for it. So there are things in technology that have already been developed. And for whatever reason, we're not ready as the public to take a look at it. And I consider it part of my role to be an educator, to find out what it is that you're interested in, what is your company needs are. Are you more interested in the community and education as a whole? Or are you interested primarily in technology and how to move forward in the future with innovation and promoting more creative thinking that fuels tomorrow? So that's where I see my role. And with different people that I meet, more often they're very clearly on one side, on the community or business education side, or they're firmly planted in technology. Probably only 20% of the people that I meet with would actually benefit from joining both organizations.
Interesting. Yeah, I hadn't thought about it that in that way of funneling them one direction or the other. That's really smart. I like that. I also like that approach of really selling anything, right? Take that approach as an educator. Like, I'm putting this out there. Here's how much I believe in this product. I think you need to know about it. Do with this as you will. Has that been your approach to sales over the years?
Yes. Yes, it has been, because I don't know your company as well as you know it. I will never know your company as well as you know it. But if I can present enough information to you that you can see how it applies in various areas of your business and make your business better, then it's a win-win for both of us.
That's great. So what do you see roles of, certainly specifically the Richardson Chamber, because you're hands-on right there, but even chambers across the U.S. in general, that model, right? Chamber of Commerce model. Where do you see that evolving? Is it just become even more necessary, or as we get global and we get virtual more and more, is the role of a chamber changing?
I think the role of any business is always evolving based on what the community they serve is expecting. The chamber has always been involved in advocacy. That's why it was formed, to be able to advocate for local business, legislature, and to protect the businesses and what their needs are. That's the primary role, and I don't see that changing because we have to live and raise our children in the community in which we choose to work. So I don't see it changing. And globally, I think we stand to learn a lot from other communities and how they're choosing to solve solutions. So I think we can only benefit the more we open our minds and our hearts to a global landscape.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's because there's still, going back to our previous discussion, right, around AI and all of that, there's still such a human aspect to technology, to business. You know what? At the end of the day, I want to do business with this person because there's something there. Like, everything's right, the data's there, but then there's just this something. And I know that I'm going to spend the next several years dealing with them one way or the other. I'm their client, they're my client, and I want that relationship to be good. And I think all those things come into play, like you say, at the chamber of, we're still in communities, we're still interacting like that. And I think there is still a big need.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, you want to do business with people you like and you trust. And that's one of the primary reasons people join the Richardson Chamber of Commerce. They want to do business with other members They want to support each other's businesses. And so I think that's important. I also think that when we take a look at technology, and AI is a good example, the first thing that people say is, oh, they're going to take away jobs. But did you know AI will help in help educating special needs folks or veterans with PTSD? There are learning capabilities that with all of this different technology, there are ways that it will make our communities better. So I think that encouraging and promoting each other's businesses, taking a look at groundbreaking technology, and how the next generation will, solve real world problems, how they'll interact with each other. I think that's all real important.
Yeah, and I think that's what's so interesting is the more we expand into these other areas of just what's possible,
yes,
we think differently, right? Our kids approach the world differently than we did because of these possibilities in technology and just, looking at this problem that maybe it's been around for 80 years and they just go over here and go like, oh, why aren't you doing this? And you're like, all right, that's genius,
Yeah, I used to think, that I was on top of the world when I could ride my bicycle all the way to downtown, or knew everyone who lived on all 3 or 4 blocks around my house or something. I mean, our kids are, communicating, to your point, globally, and the education they receive, it's just incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking, automated vehicles, how will that change transportation? When we look at the essentials, that people need to live, housing, transportation, and how all of these things play into the future, it's really incredible.
Yeah, I agree. This is awesome. Always fun to talk and to talk possibility and all of that with you, Barbara. I'm so glad we got a chance to do this. How can people find out more about Tech Titans and the Richardson Chamber?
They can go on our website. It's techtitans.org or the richardsonchamber.com.
Fantastic. And you personally connect with you on LinkedIn? Always a good spot, right?
I absolutely. Yes.
Fantastic. Barbara, thank you so much for being on.
Well, thank you, Jason. It's always a pleasure. I look forward to seeing you again really soon.
Heck yeah. All right. See you all next time. Thanks so much for tuning in and being a part of this show. If you ever need help building out custom strategies for your business or deciding what actions to take next, head over to MediaLeadsCo.com and let's connect. I'll talk to you soon on the next Strategy and Action.